Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation, where I review action figures and then articulate 5 points to help you decide if you want to add that figure to your collection. The 5 points I discuss are packaging, presentation, posability, playability, and price. I'm Jason, and I have been away for a while. If you saw my last video, you'd know that I actually am nursing an injured knee right now, but I've also had some other medical issues since then, so it's just been impossible for me to film anything. Not to worry though, I'm back, and I've got something a little different today. I thought we'd have a little throwback, flashback day and look at a retro figure, and the one that we're going to be looking at today is the Brightest Knight Mera figure by DC Direct. I love what McFarlane has been doing with the line, but I think it's pretty obvious by now that giving us a variety of characters in their classic looks just isn't going to be in the cards. So what I've been doing is kind of going back for some old DC Direct figures and Mattel Multiverse figures that I can kind of fudge together in the same scale with some of the other figures I have to kind of create this Frankenstein collection. I've been wanting this Mera for a while now to go with my Aquaman, and if you look on the aftermarket, she normally goes for like 80 bucks. I finally found one that was in my price range and I jumped on it. Was it money well spent? Only one way to find out. Let's take her over to the review station and dig in. First things first, taking a look at the packaging, already this is just a trip down memory lane. Before DC Direct rebranded as DC Collectibles and settled on these white window boxes we all know and love, they used to have these nice colorful blister cards. And usually the lines would reflect a specific comic book story. This one, of course, is from Brightest Day, which was the sequel to Blackest Night. And already you can see how the blister is in the shape of the White Lantern ring. Here's the other figures in this wave. We had Martian Manhunter, Firestorm, and Hawkman. And down here we can see what figures they had in other waves. Series 1 had Green Arrow, Deadman, Aquaman, and Hawkgirl. And then Series 3 had Aqualad, Jade, Hawk, and Dove. One of the ways that DC Direct saved some money on packaging was that they didn't do individual cards for each character. They'd have a sticker or insert on the front for the specific character, but the back would have the write-up for everybody. The Queen of the Seas has been reunited with her husband Aquaman. However, since the startling revelation that she'd been sent to kill him, their love has been tried. I guess Amber Heard was perfectly cast. Removing the bubble, I absolutely just love this backer card. We have the different color lanterns represented. It's just really nice and colorful. I also like these little plastic flaps so I could actually slide the backer card on and off if I wanted. I don't plan on keeping her in the box, but knowing if I wanted to, I could actually unpack her and then pack her again, I really appreciate that. This is a nice, colorful, fun package that in no way, shape, or form diminishes its collector quality. One whole point. Getting Mera out of the package, and you know, the first thing I find myself thinking is that I may have joked about Amber Heard, but looking at her up close, she kind of reminds me of Amy Adams. All joking aside though, this is a very nicely sculpted face. She has a strong, regal look, and honestly, the paint details on her eyes are really crisp. I love the detailing in her tiara and how it's kind of fringed around the edges, and I really like the color that they chose for it. Gorgeous hair sculpt. I love how it's all swirly, and it's hard to see on the camera, but there is a little bit of a wash in there to bring out that detail. Kind of reminds me of an ice cream cone. Moving on down, the sculpt is otherwise pretty straightforward. It's mostly just a basic kind of female body, but what really sets it off is this incredible scale detail. And not just the scales themselves, but also this really nice kind of metallic emerald green paint. Comes all the way down to the cuffs of her sleeves with this nice kind of leaf shape. Turning her around, we can see how that scale pattern just pretty much covers her entire body. But down here she has these kind of shark fins coming off of the back of her calves. She has one peg hole, but what I really appreciate about her feet, they're flat. So unlike a lot of other female figures, Mera stands up just fine. That being said, she does have a little bit of missed paint here, a little bit of paint slob here, and a little bit of paint rub at some of the joints. Overall, this is just a nice, simple figure. The proportions are pretty good, her face isn't too cartoonish. I love the metallic green scales, and in spite of all that scale, you can still kind of see some muscle tone coming through too. It really feels like someone wearing a bodysuit. She can't do a whole lot more than just kind of stand there, but you know what? She looks pretty good doing that, so for presentation, Mera gets one whole point. Moving on to Poseability, if you feel like I've been gushing so far, well, that's about to stop. I just want to point out that I actually have her body facing forward right now, but you'll notice that her eye line is coming over here. That's because Mera's head is so unposable, she can't even look straight. I know I said I like the hair, and yeah, the sculpt is nice, but it really just gets in the way. And then we get to the DC Direct arms, which I gotta tell you, I'm kind of holding my breath even doing on camera. Suffice it to say, her arm only comes up that much on that side, and this much on that side. Single jointed elbows, just barely under 90 degrees, and this is about all we're getting from her hips. But you know what, I'll give it to Mera. As bad as these single jointed knees are, they're definitely more posable than my knee has been the last few weeks. She's a gorgeous figure, but she's little more than a movable statue. But to be honest, that's pretty much what DC Direct was. And you know what? Just standing on your shelf, it looks just fine. Even so, for Poseability, I'm giving Mera 0 points. Moving on to Playability, Mera comes with this very nice Brightest Day figure stand. Funny thing about it is she actually stands better without it. As you can see here, her left foot isn't even making contact. But she also comes with this trident, and I have to say it looks really nice. It fits in her hand just as snug as a bug, but because of that lack of articulation in her wrist, it's really hard to pose her with it where it doesn't take up a lot of room. Lucky for Mera, Playability is more than just accessories, it's also about how well your figure plays with others. Here she is alongside the DC Essentials Aquaman, and yeah, they scale great. Granted, the DC Essentials skin is a little bit more matte than hers, and her face seems a bit disproportionate from his, but they both have some nice metallic detailing, and I think that they match up really nicely. At least for my collection, I'm very happy. McFarlane has yet to give us an Aquaman, but if you want to know how she looks alongside the DC Multiverse figures, here she is with Flashpoint Batman. I also don't have any Mattel Aquamans, but if you want to see how she looks alongside your Mattel Multiverse, here she is with Bizarro. For an average female Marvel legend, here she is next to Jean Grey. Just felt to me like these two made sense together. As you can see, Mera is scaled a little bit high, but somehow Jean is able to move her head all the way around. And for an average male Marvel Legend comparison, here she is side by side with the OG Aquaman, Namor the Submariner.
Hey, want to be the queen of my Atlantis?
At the end of the day, DC Direct figures really aren't about playability. I mainly bought her because I could put her in my general DC collection. It's everything I want for a figure. Even so, based just on her own merit for playability, I'm giving Mera half a point. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price, and honestly, for a figure like this, that's kind of hard to talk about. If you saw the sticker on the box, you'd know that it was $18 when it first came out, which that honestly isn't that bad of a price for this. I, however, did not spend $18. Online, I'm seeing it these days for anywhere from $80 and over. I spent a bit less than that, but honestly, really, for a collectible like this, it really boils down to what the market will bear. Right now, this is the only classic comic book style Mera that you can get that isn't based off of a movie or a cartoon. I wish it was cheaper, but it is what it is. For price, I'm going to give Mera half a point for a grand total of 3 out of 5. Regardless of how you feel about the actress who played her, seeing Mera's expanded role in the Snyder Cut of Justice League really reinvigorated my interest in this character. I went into this purchase knowing exactly what I was going to get, and I wasn't disappointed. Nice, colorful, classic packaging that's still a little bit collector-friendly. An incredible sculpt with some really nice paintwork. Very limited articulation, but that's what you got back then from DC Direct. And at a price that, well, not great, I was at least able to live with. If you want a good, classic, comic book style Mera for your DC collection, this is it. I highly doubt that Mafex or SH Figuarts is going to give us a comic book Mera figure, and I think we all know that McFarlane definitely isn't. Definitely try to track her down, but do try to be patient and wait for the best price you can. I hope you enjoyed this little retro toy review. If you did, let me know in the comments and we'll do a lot more. While you're down there, please like, share, subscribe to all the YouTube rigmarole, and don't forget to follow us on our new Facebook. You'll find it down in the description. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, have fun.